Welcome back, y'all, Sawyer Ridge Farm. So today we are going to be finishing our rabbit cages. So this is a two-part series. This is the second part. So if you haven't seen the first part of this, I'm going to have Alex put the video up right here. You're going to want to watch that first because this stuff right we're going to be doing probably is not going to make a whole lot of sense. You didn't know, where we came from. So watch the part one and then come over here and watch part two, and we are going to be finishing everything today. Rabbits will be living in this later today probably. So first thing I'm going to do, I kind of already did it just so I can kind of show you, but we're going to be cutting the feeders, the little holes for the feeders, and the doors. And so right here, we got the feeders cut out. You just measure whatever feeders you use. Just make sure, you want them nice and snug in there where there's not a bunch of gaps. So just measure your feeder out, cut it. And like I said, I just use a grinder with a metal wheel. That's just the easiest for me. I don't like clipping all these things. But if you don't have one, you can use like your regular pliers. It just takes a little bit longer. And it'll strengthen your hands a little bit. So then your door. When you're cutting your door, just make sure you're cutting it a decent size. Okay, so I don't know, we use nest boxes. I build my own nest boxes. So make sure, like for us, we need to make sure that we could stick a nest box in here, that it was big enough that the nest box could go in. However y'all do your setup, just keep that in mind that you want it. If you're going to do nest boxes, make sure it's big enough so it can stick in there, depending on how big your nest box is. Another thing is you want a decent sized door because you can, you want to be able to get your hand in there, maybe two, to get a rabbit. You don't want a tiny little thing where, you can't maneuver in there. So make a decent sized door. Another thing too is you want to maybe, for me, I like to come up, about 4 to 5 inches, just so when you open the door, you don't have your kits trying to fall out. You kind of give them just a little bit of a wall where they're not going to just tumble out on you. So I like to just put a little bit of a height on it. I want to go more than probably 5 inches, 4 inches or so. But whenever you cut it, it's kind of going to look like this. Do not throw this piece away, okay? Don't. I will show you in the end what you can do with this. And with this cage that I'm building, there is very to little no waste. When I first started making these, I cut this and I seen, man, this is a big piece. I need to do something with it. I don't want to throw it away. There's not a whole lot you can do with it, but I found a solution for it. So I'll show you whenever we start making them. Don't throw this piece away, okay? So I'm going to cut all the feeder holes and the gate holes, and then when I'm done with that, I'll come back with you and show you how to put everything together. Alright, so we cut all the doors, as you can see, all the holes for the doors, and we also cut the actual doors. You're going to have to, once you cut the hole for the door, you're going to have to get a new piece from your roll and cut it just a little bit bigger than the hole. What I did was just good, an inch on each side, and I did like a couple inches on the bottom and top, but you want to do probably at least about an inch on each side all the way around. You got to cut it just a little bit bigger than the actual hole itself. And the way I'm going to put the doors on, you can buy, they have some special latches and things like that, like hinges for the doors, not latches, hinges. I honestly just use the J-clips. They work perfectly fine. I used them on the other one. I already have them, I have a bunch of them. And I just J-clip one side of it, and that's what I use for the hinges. So I'm going to attach that right now, and we'll speed through that process, and then I'll come back with you once we're done. So we got all the doors on. We just got the J-clips like we said and put them on there. And if your J-clips are you can kind of see here, they sometimes like to roll around on the hinges. If you don't like that, what I had Alex do was just come over there with a piece of pliers and just kind of tighten them just a little bit more, because those pliers that do the J-clips, they just make it a circle. But if you just pinch it a little bit harder with some pliers, it'll take away that slack. But as you can tell, I mean, they work. They don't get hung up or anything like that, so no need to go buy any expensive hinges. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting these latches on, and we bought these latches. And so right here, they're really easy. When you stick your latch on, you want them in the middle of the gate, so you don't have any sides kind of like bowing out because it's one's higher than the other. You want them as much in the middle as possible. And with these latches, which they are linked, this is the way they look like. They just got these sides right here, and you stick them on here. Let me make sure that's in the middle real quick before I mess this up. So you stick that, double check, okay, it's in the middle. Then you get your pliers and just come on the back side of here and just pinch them. Just pinch the back side. You got it like that. Latch is down, and it holds it in, and it opens up for you. So we're going to stick the rest of these latches on there, and then we'll come back to you once we're done with that. Alright, so we got all the latches on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put up some trim along the gate here, the gate hole. Because whenever you're grinding or clipping, you're going to have it. There's going to be some sharp edges. And when you're going in there, you don't want to cut yourself. When you're pulling the rabbet out, you don't want to be cutting the rabbet. So what you do is they have this little, it comes in 5-foot sections, but it's just a plastic trim piece that go along it. And in our first video that's going to be linked up here, we have a link to it so you can get that. You just got to measure out how much you're going to need. But so what you do here is you get this long piece and just come over and stick it up against the side. Put your finger right there so you got it. So that's how long that's going to be. And then just get some snippers. Snip it off. Then you kind of got to finagle it just a little bit. And so once you get it in there, just kind of give it a good knocking down, and that's pretty much how you put that in there. All right, so we got the first one. We got the trim all done. You ain't gonna be cutting your stuff on this, and you can look at it. It's looking pretty good. This is almost looking professional, I could probably say. People think you bought this cage, but really you didn't. And see, that's pretty much what the cage is gonna be like. But we're gonna do the rest of them real quick, and then we'll get back to the final step. And I'll tell you what this is going to be for, okay? So hold on one sec. Alright, so the piece that I told you not to throw away, this is the reason why you don't throw it away. Every project I do, I always try to not throw as much away. That's kind of one of my goals. Make as least trash as possible, or waste. So whenever I cut this, I was thinking, what can I do with it? Well, one thing that you need when you're raising rabbits is you need to give them hay. And you can put it inside their box, and you know they can eat it that way, but it gets kind of messy sometimes. But this is going to be a hay feeder. And so the way you do it is cut all these off. So you don't want these parts, so cut them all off. And once you got them all cut off, it's going to look kind of like this. It's going to be flushed. okay? Then at this point, you just gotta, however you wanna make your hay feeder. The way I did it, I kind of seen how it was, and I did 3 squares, so this is 3 inches. And how you make them kind of like on the corners, one way you can do it is just kind of set it up, bend it over a little bit, get you a hammer, and then just kind of hammer it down. And that kind of helps you get you a good, square. And then what you want to do is, since this is 3 squares, you want this to be flushed. So I cut up 3 squares, and what you do is you bend one over, bend the other one over, and then you bend the bottom one up. And so you're going to only do 3 squares. And when you do that, you get this. So as you can see, these are the inside, the outside pieces went in, and then the back side folded under it. So now it's a pretty good hay feeder. And what you do with it is, I'll show you, I'll put one of these up here in a little bit, is you just find your spot on your door. Okay, we're putting them on our door. You don't have to put them on the door, but we're gonna have our water and our feeder, and then this is the best spot, I believe, for it. And the way you attach this, way you attach everything, is the J-clips. And so I'll attach one for you right now. All right, so like I said, you put the hay feeders on the doors and just figure out where you want it. I want mine right in the middle. So what you do is you come down here, and just like everything, guys, you just put the J-clip around everything. And so right now, it's moving right now. But then what I'm going to do is open this up, find a point to connect it to. Just like this whole entire process, just hook it with the J-clips. And I'll do one other side. And what you do, it literally, I'll probably put about 2 or 3 more on there, but that's pretty much, you got your hay feeder, okay? And another thing that you do is, what we're gonna do is right here on the top, it's still that serrated edge. So if we have any left over of the trim, we put that on top, because you're gonna be sticking your hand down in here, and you want that trim around there because you don't want to cut your wrists. Go to the hospital for that. So that's pretty much the hay feeder. So you don't have to throw everything away. Always try to find a purpose for the scrap stuff you do have. Alright, it's finally here. We're done. The only thing that we ran out of is the trim for the hay feeders, but we'll order that later. But this cage is good to go. Like you can see, it's a pretty simple cage, and the only waste that you're going to have is a few pieces like this. Just a few of them. That's literally the only waste you're going to get. And so that's one good thing, is you're not wasting a whole lot of materials. As you can see, you're probably wondering why we don't have any waterers on here. It's wintertime here in Oklahoma, so we use these little Rubbermaid bowls for the wintertime. We have a video about that on why we use these. You can go check that out. And then in the summertime, we have an automatic system, and it'll just go right here. But there's enough room here for a bottle if y'all want to do a bottle. But I'll go just a little bit real quick on why I build them the way I do. So like I said before, the door, make sure it's big enough for a nest box, and make sure you can kind of get both hands in there. And with this design, you don't want to go probably more than 2 feet, just because from the ones I've had before, if you go any further, see my hand, it goes past this. So if you're trying to get the rabbit for breeding and stuff, sticking your hand in there, this rabbit's not going to be able to go further than your reach. If you have one 3, 4, 5, we've had ones that are 6 feet long, you got to have another door on the end, and then you got to have, your wife or somebody run around the other side, and you kind of got to just try to get them, or you gotta get a fishnet. If you're gonna do it that way, get a fishnet. But that's the reason why you don't want to go more than 2 feet wide on the cages, because of the reach. Trust me, it'll save you the heartache. But that's pretty much it. And the wire cages, they're real good. You can customize them. That's why I wanted to do it my way, because I wanted to maximize the length with the amount of cages. And when I was trying to buy them online, they just didn't have exactly what I was wanting. So I just thought I'll just make it myself. But that's pretty much it. If y'all got any questions about the cages, like I said, this is a part 2 series, so there's another video before. Watch that video before you watch this if you're this far. So if y'all like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed to our channel and you're liking these videos, or at least this video, hit the subscribe button, because this is kind of what we do. We just, we live the farm, homestead type of lifestyle. So if you like that type of stuff, we got many more videos to come of that, some more DIY things. So hit the subscribe button, then there's a bell, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll notify you of our newest videos, and you can be the first ones to watch them and comment. If you have any questions about these cages, or I didn't explain something as well as you would like, just put them down in the comments, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our abilities, and try to, show you what you need, or, if you can't find something. But everything that we used here, mine is kind of some of my tools. We put them down in the descriptions on the first video. Just go back through and just look at that if you're wanting to make something like this. Hope y'all like this video, and stay tuned for more to come. Y'all take care, and God bless. Let's probably redo that one. That one kind of seems a little bad. All right, so we're on our final step. One of the final steps. Let me redo that again. So if y'all remember the piece that I told you not to throw away, I'm going to tell you.
Here's why.
All right, so we're done. Stupid.